Well, hello, how are you? Today is Friday. It is June 13th. Again, it's Friday the 13th. Can you imagine Friday the 13th? And we're here talking about real estate. Is that scary? No, it's not scary. Actually, I love Friday the 13th. Again, my daughter was born on a Friday the 13th, and my son was also born on a Friday. So and again, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. Again, my birthday is on the 13th, so occasionally my again it falls on Friday the 13th. But we're not going to be scared in these real estate streets. Again, we are going to be brave and we're going to keep our ears to the ground. And the way we do that is being, again, just learning about what's happening, keeping our ears and eyes open. Our market is constantly changing right now. There are so many changes that is happening. We are in the month of June again, and we're on the 13th day of June. And so we're going to be talking about some of the different things that are happening, things to be aware of that is coming. So I hope that you're ready for this. Again, if you ever have questions, again, you can always send it to questions@compsnews.com. I'm always getting questions, whether you're calling, whether you're sending it by email, or whether I say, you know what, that was a good question. Someone asked a little bit ago about this. And so therefore we kind of addressed it, or I kind of addressed it on this channel. Again, you can subscribe to the Comps News. Again, this is a way for you to kind of keep your ears and eyes to the ground of real estate. So we're going to be talking about, again, today I do not have an audience. I explained it earlier. Again, if you listen to the previous video, I'm behind. I am behind. Again, it's been so busy. Again, I don't know if you've heard, again, there's so many changes that are happening. So I have been very fortunate that you guys have not actually said, hey, I want to come join because it's been busy. And so I'm recording this on today, but again, I'm behind in recording it on today as well. So we're going to be talking about some of the digital, again, kind of questions that I've been receiving lately. And so that way we can kind of just address some of the things that are happening. Again, I love to, make sure that everyone is on the same page. Again, that's my kind of the way I teach. This is the kind of the way I approach things in general. So my first question is, what is the deadline to complete my South Carolina CE requirements? So the deadline to complete South Carolina CEs is June 30th. You have until then to renew your license. Again, pay the fee for renewal to complete your continuing education. So South Carolina gives you all the way to the 30th of June. Again, until again 11:59 to get it all together. So you still have time if you're trying to get your South Carolina continuing education completed. So that's a great thing, right? So if you're, again, we're on the 13th day, we still have a few more days. Actually, next week I will be my last week of doing continuing education hours, live via Zoom. So again, if you haven't got your CEs done, again, get it done. So the other question that people are asking is, I purchased a North Carolina CE self-paced course, but I am unable to access it now. It says, why is this happening? What is happening and why is this happening to me? Do I need, did I put in the wrong code again? And the answer is no. There's nothing wrong. It's just besides you not completing your continuing education hours during the blackout, before the blackout period. So on June, I'm sorry, oh, that's wrong. So on June 10th, again, not July, on June 10th is the deadline. June 10th, every June, again, June 10th is the deadline when it comes to your hours. And there is a blackout. Again, there's a blackout going from, again, from June 11th through July 1st. So again, this is why you're not able to do your continuing education hours. So again, that is from June, again, not July, from June 10th. So I think that again, for a lot of us, I don't know how, I guess July is on my mind. July is on my mind because there's so many changes that are happening in July. So I apologize for my slide. It is June, June 10th. Again, June 10th, you have to complete all your North Carolina. You can pay your fee all the way to June 30th, but after that, again, this is where you're going to find yourself having some consequences. Also, talking about some hot topics again, the North Carolina, South Carolina forms. Again, as I said, you probably already know that there are new forms for South Carolina, and then also there is some again some updates that I wanted to bring to you about Georgia. So again, let's talk about the new forms. New forms for South Carolina. Again, we starting in June. Again, we have not. They have not released it. They have not officially released all the forms yet. They haven't released any of the forms yet. As I said earlier, the South Carolina Realtors Association, who creates the forms, again, our association creates the forms for us to use for South Carolina for most of our contracts or most of our agreements. These forms have not been released. They just said that June. Again, I called about it and they said June. They don't have a time frame in June. They just said June. So again, we will be looking for the next week or two, for the new forms. But what are the forms that they're looking at? So again, the first one is the buyer agency form. They have done some updating on that form as well as the purchase agreement form. Again, they have taken out some sections of that form, and they're making sure that again the form reads much more clearly. And then also when it comes to the home warranty, there's a whole home warranty form, which is a new form. They took the home warranty portion out of the purchase agreement, and they have a form for that. And then the fourth again form that we're looking at this the compensation agreement form. There will be one for between the brokerage, again from the listing agents and the buyer's agency, and then there will be a compensation agreement between the buyer's agent and the seller. So there are two forms that are going to be under compensation, and how our buyer agency agreement is going to operate and work in the future is very different. So again, you definitely want to make sure that you kind of keep your eyes open for the new forms and understand how these new forms are going to change, and it's going to change the dynamics of what we talk about with our buyers before we go out and start showing homes. I was very surprised. I got a message this past week about, again, about someone who is interested in a property that I'm selling. And the buyer's agent says, well, the buyer is still analyzing the numbers. And I can understand that. Again, when you're buying a property and you're making a big purchase, you want to make sure that you're comfortable, confident about what you're purchasing because again, it's a major purchase. But one of the things that made me kind of question what is happening with some of the buyers today is that they're not prepared. I feel like they're not necessarily prepared for the entire purchase process. Again, understanding compensation aspects. Again, now that they may be responsible for paying their agent. And so again, that is kind of like a brokerage thing. Again, that's not a Vonnie thing to really address. Again, a brokerage thing because the brokerage should be helping preparing their licensees and making sure that the licensees are prepared. So the other big changes, again, that is happening, I think that I talked about this already. Again, the new laws for Georgia, again, and the reciprocity. Again, we've talked about this earlier, but this is something that is new. It is something that is happening, and it is something that you'll find yourself kind of, addressing as well. So again, the new law for the CE, for the new broker CE laws, again, July 1st, it will go into effect. And yes, there is a reciprocity between South Carolina and Georgia. So that is a great thing. Again, if you're a non-resident of South Carolina, if you're a Georgia resident, you can get credit for your South Carolina continuing education requirements by completing all of your Georgia requirements. And so that's a great thing, a great thing again. And I also want to stress again, the new broker CE law goes into effect on July 1st. What that means, again, in Georgia, there are two types of license type. There is the salesperson's license, and then there's those individuals who have a broker license. There is going to be a requirement of those who hold that type of license to complete 18 hours of continuing education that are broker specific kind of course. They're not, I guess what they're trying to make sure, and my understanding is anytime the commission creates any rules, any laws, again, they're doing it to protect the public. They want to make sure that brokers really understand, how do we handle money? How do we, again, did a contract form? Again, do we actually understand our business? And so again, you are a broker. And as a broker, this is where you may have the possibility to be able to be in charge. And they want to make sure that you understand the laws beyond just the surface. So again, that is something to come, as we are looking forward. As I said to you earlier, again, because I'm recording this on the same day, right now, actually, we have four approved CE courses. I actually looked. So we have four courses that are approved. We have several that are still waiting. Again, we are going to be doing a trio. Again, how this is going to work, I'm still looking at it, how this is going to work. But again, it will be an opportunity for me to, or as comps, to be able to be in a room of licensees that hold South Carolina, Georgia, and North Carolina license. And for elective hours, they are able to get credit no matter where they are. That is pretty awesome. Again, I don't know how cool that may be, but it sounds really cool. Where we can have licensees from 3 different states talking about fair housing, talking about ethics, talking about national kind of topics, financing, national topics, and be able to get credit no matter where they are. So that means that if you are in South Carolina, you can learn a little bit what's happening in the market if Georgia or North Carolina. And if you're in Georgia, you can learn about what's happening here. And so if you're licensed in all 3 states, hey, this is a great opportunity for you to network and to be able to refer business, because again, not every deal is your deal. Some deal is a referable deal. So again, it helps you to grow your business. This is unique for us at Comps because, again, as I said earlier, again, we are structured. We are structured in a different way. Most schools are structured to only handle one state and certification. We are structured where we are able to handle all 3 different states, which is quite, it's it's kind of cool. Again, we'll see. Again, it's cool. Again, I think it's cool. But it requires us to keep it all straight, because it is definitely very different. Next week, I will be back with you. I will be talking again, whether actually have a live thing, I don't know. June is so busy. It's such a busy time right now. So we will be looking at the North Carolina forms to see if there's any, changes as it relates to those forms that we can actually, again, I will be able to hopefully see what's coming. And then also, again, it's out there. The list is out there again, but I have not explored it. I've been so busy with all the things, again, all the things. And then also we have, again, when it comes to the new laws, there are some new laws that are going into effect that I just had the privilege to go through the North Carolina update training by the commission this week. Again, it's been a very busy week talking to them about the new laws that are coming about. So I will kind of give you heads up on what those new laws look like, how this is mean for what it will mean for your business, and what does it mean moving forward. Also, on the 27th of June and probably also the first week of July, I will not be doing sessions. This is also a busy time, not only for real estate, but for my personal family. Again, we have all these birthdays, all these celebration, and a holiday in between there. So I know that on the 27th for sure, the 27th for sure, we will not be having a meeting. But again, on the 20th, again, it's going to be it's going to be a lot of information. So again, I will be able to know more, and hopefully there is some possible changes for South Carolina as well, between South Carolina and North Carolina reciprocity. Whether or not there will be something, there's rumored to be something. We don't really know. I think that they're supposed to be meeting sometime next week. I think it's about Wednesday is what the commission told us. What comes out of that meeting, again, we will see what happens. So in the between time, in the meantime, again, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that this has been helpful for you as you're kind of like wondering what's happening in real estate and what's happening in the real estate world. If you have questions, you can always email them at questions@compsnews.com. You can subscribe to our, again, to our actual, YouTube channel to be able to know when we are uploading new materials and what's happening. And I hope this has been good and beneficial for you. And yeah, ask Vonnie again. Hey, why not? So I will talk to you soon. It's been a pleasure and have a great rest of your week.